Have you ever wondered if your thoughts, those silent whispers of the mind, could ripple across the universe like waves on a still pond? It sounds like something from a science fiction novel. And yet modern science is beginning to confirm what ancient mystics and seers have long claimed, that we are not separate beings floating alone in space, but deeply and mysteriously connected to everything around us through an invisible intelligent field. In the vast glimmering tapestry of the universe beyond the swirling galaxies, the distant stars and the dance of light and shadow, there exists a quiet, unseen force. It's not loud, it doesn't call attention to itself, but it's always there, gently weaving together the fabric of reality. Physicists call it quantum entanglement. Even Einstein, the father of modern physics, once looked upon this phenomenon with awe, famously calling it spooky action at a distance. Why? Because entanglement defies the rules we thought governed space and time. Two particles once linked can remain connected no matter how far apart they drift. Shift one and the other reacts instantly, whether it's a few feet or galaxies away. But what if this isn't just a peculiar footnote in quantum theory? What if this mysterious phenomenon isn't limited to particles in a lab, but is alive in you? What if your mind, your emotions, and your subconscious are entangled in this same cosmic web? Modern research is starting to echo what sages, monks, and philosophers have whispered for centuries. Your consciousness is not confined to your skull. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions ripple outward, connecting to a universal field of energy that responds in real time. This is not poetic metaphor. It's measurable. It's scientific. You see, your subconscious mind, the part of you operating beneath awareness, acts like an antenna, constantly transmitting and receiving frequencies. It doesn't sleep, it doesn't stop. And when you begin to understand this, when you learn to work with the quantum field, instead of unconsciously broadcasting noise into it, something remarkable begins to happen. The walls that once confined you, they start to dissolve. The limitations you accepted as just the way things are, they melt away, revealing an energy that's been inside you all along. Quiet, patient, and powerful. This energy is not some mystical force from a fantasy tale. It is real. It can be observed. It can be felt. When your subconscious patterns, your deepest beliefs, and emotional imprints align with the rhythm of the universe, life starts to flow differently. You don't just change your mindset, you begin to transform your entire experience of reality. The world no longer pushes against you. Instead, it seems to bend towards you, mirroring the energy you send out. This is the secret few understand. But once you do, everything changes. To understand how your subconscious can unlock this hidden potential, you must first grasp the nature of the cosmic web that holds existence together. Quantum entanglement doesn't play by the rules of classical physics. In countless experiments, scientists have observed that two particles, once connected, can communicate instantly, faster than the speed of light. No matter how far apart they are, a shift in one immediately affects the other. This phenomenon shatters our understanding of space and time. But more importantly, it hints at a deeper, more profound truth. The universe is not made up of separate, isolated pieces. It is a seamless whole, a single vibrating field of intelligence where everything is intertwined. And you, dear listener, are part of that field. Your thoughts, your body, your emotions, they're composed of the same subatomic particles that exhibit quantum entanglement. When you feel something deeply, when you think with intention, you're not just having an internal experience. You're sending ripples through the web, and those ripples matter. Let's look at what science says. Institutions like HeartMath have shown that the human heart emits an electromagnetic field that can be measured several feet outside the body. More than that, it responds directly to your emotional state. Feel joy, love, gratitude, and your heart's field becomes coherent, harmonious. Feel fear or anxiety, and that field becomes chaotic. This means your inner world isn't confined to your inner world. It radiates outward. It touches others. It shapes your environment in ways you may not yet fully understand. And who's driving this inner world? Your subconscious. Operating in the background, it governs about 95% of your daily behavior. It doesn't argue. It doesn't judge. It simply obeys the programming it received, often long before you were even aware of what it was absorbing. Think of your subconscious as rich, fertile soil, and your beliefs, emotions, and intentions. They're the seeds. Plant roses, you get roses. Plant thorns, you get thorns. The soil doesn't decide what's worthy. It simply grows what it's given. So if your subconscious is filled with thoughts of limitation, fear, or unworthiness, it will send out a frequency that entangles with circumstances that reflect those beliefs. Struggle, lack, disappointment. It's not bad luck, it's resonance. Conversely, if your subconscious is tuned to trust, gratitude, and abundance, you begin to attract people, experiences, and outcomes that mirror that higher frequency. This is not New Age wishful thinking. It's energy in motion. It's the law of entanglement playing out through the most personal, intimate aspects of your life. A parable captures this beautifully. A farmer plants seeds in the soil, unaware of which ones will grow. Yet the soil never discriminates. It simply nurtures whatever is sown. Your subconscious is that soil. And here's the key: most of those seeds were planted in childhood. In those early years, your brain functioned predominantly in theta waves, meaning your subconscious was wide open, absorbing without filter. You learned what love meant by how it was given or withheld. You learned whether you were safe, worthy, smart, or capable by what others said or didn't say. You took in the energy of your parents, your environment, and your early experiences like a sponge. These became your first programs. And even now, as an adult, they still run quietly in the background, like an old operating system. You may consciously want financial success, deep love, or freedom, but if your subconscious is still broadcasting fear, scarcity, or self-doubt, the signal you send out will never match the vision you hold in your mind. This is why so many people feel stuck. They try to change their lives on the outside without changing the broadcast coming from within. But here's the truth. The universe doesn't respond to the words you say. It responds to the frequency you are. And that frequency is determined by your subconscious programming. So if you truly want to change your life, it begins here by acknowledging that your subconscious is not a passive storage space. It is an active participant in the creation of your reality. Once you see that you're no longer a victim of circumstance, you're a conscious co-creator, and that changes everything. Previously, we explored how your subconscious mind functions like a broadcasting antenna, quietly transmitting signals that shape your life through quantum entanglement. Now, let's take that understanding one step further. What if that same subconscious isn't just passively recording your life like a journal? What if it's actively transmitting energy, shaping reality in real time, and being shaped by it in return? This is the key insight that turns your focus inward. Instead of endlessly trying to fix external circumstances, you begin to realize that true transformation happens within. It begins with the energy you emit, more specifically with the frequency your subconscious radiates into the quantum field. Think of it this way. Just as a radio receiver can tune into different stations, your subconscious mind can also tune into different energetic frequencies. But it doesn't happen by accident. Shifting your internal broadcast requires awareness, intention, and consistent practice. Why is this so important? Because the quantum field is always responding. It doesn't judge. It doesn't favor anyone. It simply mirrors back the most dominant frequency you transmit. That means the real work must begin at the source you. One of the most powerful tools for reprogramming the subconscious is meditation. During deep meditative states, your brain slows down and re-enters the theta frequency. This is the same brainwave state you lived in as a child, the time when your subconscious was first and most deeply programmed. In this state, the usual barriers between your conscious and subconscious minds dissolve. You enter a kind of energetic twilight where new thoughts and beliefs can seep in and take root without resistance. And this is where visualization becomes a potent tool. But here's the catch: it's not enough to simply see a mental image. Change happens when you feel it. Emotion is the key. It's the emotional energy you attach to that image that signals to the subconscious. This is real. The subconscious doesn't speak the language of logic. It speaks the language of repetition and emotion. So when you visualize success, well-being, or abundance, and pair those images with the feeling of already having it, you activate a powerful mechanism. You begin to send a new energetic signal into the quantum field, and that signal begins a chain reaction. This is not speculative. It's supported by neuroscience. Dr. Joe Dispenza and other researchers have shown that when you emotionalize a thought, your brain creates new neural pathways. With enough repetition, those pathways become the default setting of your perception and behavior. Every time you feel gratitude for something that hasn't yet shown up, you're not being naive, you're rewiring your subconscious. You're instructing your antenna to broadcast a different frequency. And in turn, the quantum field begins reflecting that new signal back in the form of synchronicities, opportunities, and unexpected breakthroughs. But remember, consistency is everything. You can't overwrite years or decades of old programming with a single affirmation or a 5-minute meditation. Real reprogramming is a daily discipline, a sacred practice. It's like tuning an instrument. Slight adjustments over time bring you closer to the perfect pitch. The subconscious absorbs what it hears and feels most often. That's why it's so important to surround yourself with environments, people, and practices that reinforce your new energetic frequency. Every detail of your external world can either support or sabotage your internal transformation. Think of it like upgrading the operating system of your mind. The more consistently you install these new beliefs and emotions, the faster the old limiting scripts begin to fade. There's a beautiful metaphor that illustrates this. Michelangelo once said, "I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free." Your subconscious is that marble. Your thoughts and emotions are the chisel. Each time you visualize abundance, each time you feel value or declare a powerful affirmation, it's like striking that chisel again. Gradually, persistently, you shape the invisible. You begin revealing the masterpiece that was always hidden inside the stone. And here's the extraordinary part. As your inner sculpture takes form, the world outside begins to mirror it. The quantum field reflects your internal creation in physical reality. The moment this shift begins, something magical happens. You no longer see life as a chaotic swirl of unrelated events. Instead, reality reveals itself as an intricately woven tapestry, alive, intelligent, and responsive to the energy you emit. Through the lens of quantum entanglement, the illusion of separation begins to dissolve. You come to see that every thought, every emotion, every belief is like a thread vibrating through the web of life. And these threads don't just influence your personal reality, they ripple into the collective field as well. This realization is both deeply empowering and profoundly humbling. It dismantles the illusion of victimhood. Suddenly you realize that the challenges in your life aren't random punishments, they're feedback. They're energetic reflections of your internal state showing you where your frequency is out of tune. However, this path is not always smooth. As you raise your vibration, old thought patterns will often try to pull you back. Doubt and fear may reappear like ghosts from the past. The quantum field, ever neutral and precise, will reflect this fluctuation back to you not as judgment, but as confirmation of where your frequency truly lies. Imagine reality as a mirror. It doesn't smile first, it waits for you to smile. Your external world shifts only after your internal state shifts. This truth, once internalized, becomes your compass. Every thought becomes a choice. Every emotion becomes a tool. Every belief becomes a building block in the reality you're creating. Yet even after you begin mastering this internal broadcast, one final challenge often appears. A subtle, unexpected one, the test of alignment. The universe doesn't always validate your new frequency with instant rewards. More often, it presents obstacles, tests. These aren't punishments. They are mirrors, invitations to prove that your new vibration is stable, unconditional, and real. For example, you may begin cultivating the feeling of abundance. Then suddenly an unexpected financial challenge appears. This is the field asking, is your new frequency real, or is it dependent on outer circumstances? If you react with fear or frustration, you're signaling that your old programming is still in control. But if you respond with trust and gratitude, you send a new message. This is who I am now, regardless of the moment. The quantum field hears you. It reflects that truth. This echoes ancient wisdom. As the Tao Te Ching says, to gain knowledge, add things every day. To gain wisdom, remove things every day. True alignment isn't about gaining control over life. It's about releasing the illusion that you need to. When the universe removes illusions, it's not punishing you, it's refining you. These tests help burn away the last remnants of old patterns, allowing the new frequency to take root fully without wobble or weakness. Each challenge then becomes a doorway, a stepping stone, an invitation to greater coherence with the quantum field. Once you recognize these tests for what they are, the next great shift begins: surrender. But not the kind of surrender that means giving up. This is the deeper, wiser surrender, the kind that releases the need to control the outcome. Because here's the secret. The quantum field doesn't respond to desperation, it responds to certainty, to the deep, unwavering knowing that what you desire is already aligned with who you are becoming. And that is where transformation becomes permanent. Previously, we explored the power of surrender, how letting go of control doesn't mean giving up, but rather trusting the process so deeply that your inner frequency becomes unwavering. Now let's dive into what happens when this surrender becomes embodied. What you desire already exists, not in the physical world yet, but in pure potential. It's waiting to take shape, to crystallize into form. But for that to happen, something unexpected is required: surrender. Surrender isn't weakness. It's strength of a higher kind, the kind that trusts the intelligence of the universe, even when results are not immediate. When we cling tightly to a specific outcome, we often invite anxiety, doubt, and fear. These lower emotional frequencies create interference. Like static on a radio, they disrupt the clarity of the signal you're trying to broadcast. And when the signal is unclear, the quantum field can't mirror it accurately. That's where detachment enters. Detachment isn't indifference, it's alignment. It's allowing the universe to rearrange circumstances without your constant interference, control, or second guessing. It's choosing to believe that the flow knows more than you do, and that the manifestation will arrive at the perfect time, in the perfect form, even if it's not what your mind originally pictured. In this state of surrendered detachment, gratitude becomes the gateway. Why? Because when you give thanks for something that hasn't yet appeared, you're sending a powerful message to both your subconscious and the quantum field. This is already real. It may sound paradoxical. How can you be grateful for something that hasn't happened? But this is precisely the secret. Acting, feeling, and thinking as though your desire is already fulfilled doesn't just mimic success. It creates the energetic conditions necessary for it to manifest. As the ancient Upanishads poetically expressed, you are what your deep, driving desire is. As your desire is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. As your deed is, so is your destiny. Desire, when merged with surrender, becomes will. Will shaped by belief becomes action. And action guided by vibration becomes reality. This is not wishful thinking. It's energetic alignment. When you master the art of detachment, your subconscious begins to emit a frequency of abundance, free from fear, free from grasping. And the quantum field, ever responsive, orchestrates with remarkable precision, not chaos, to match your inner certainty. The culmination of this process leads to a profound realization: you are not a passive observer in this universe. You are a creator, a co-author, an energetic participant intertwined with the very fabric of reality. Quantum entanglement, once dismissed as abstract theory, now reveals itself as the foundation of your life experience. It's not happening out there, it's happening through you. The energy your subconscious emits isn't random, it's powerful. And when that programming is intentionally aligned with conscious, coherent vibration, something incredible happens. The dormant energy within you awakens. This awakened energy does not come from force. It flows with ease. Because when belief, emotion, and action move in harmony, struggle dissolves. Challenges become stepping stones. Obstacles transform into invitations for growth. And what once felt like coincidence begins to reveal itself as meaningful synchronicity. To truly embody this mastery, you must begin living as though your desired reality already exists. Not someday, but now. Your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions must reflect the truth of what you're becoming. Not with hope, with certainty. The signal you broadcast must be complete, clear, and unwavering. There is no room for contradiction. And here lies the final key. The quantum field does not respond to wanting. It responds to being. As long as abundance, love, or success remains something outside yourself, something to be reached or earned, the signal you emit is one of lack. But the moment you become it, the field reflects it without delay. The Greek philosopher Plotinus once offered a timeless image: never cease chiseling your own statue until the divine glory of virtue shines out on you. In this metaphor, quantum entanglement is the chisel. Your subconscious is the sculptor, and your reality is the statue. When you learn to work with both the subtle field of energy and the hidden programming within you, awaken power that was once invisible. And the universe bends naturally and without resistance to match the frequency you now hold. At this point, quantum entanglement becomes more than a strange link between particles. It becomes the architecture of your life. Beneath the surface of ordinary events, your subconscious is quietly broadcasting frequencies. And those frequencies are shaping the conditions you experience every day. Every belief you hold, every emotion you feel, every intention you carry, they all ripple outward into the quantum field, weaving themselves into circumstances, people, opportunities. This is not philosophical speculation. It is backed by science. When your inner world changes, the outer world has no choice but to follow. And mastering this connection isn't a special gift for a chosen few. It's your natural potential. It's your birthright. When you reprogram the subconscious, align with your highest vibration, and surrender control to the intelligence of the universe, you stop living by reaction and start living by creation. Life is no longer a string of accidents. It becomes a reflection of who you truly are, because you are not separate from the field. You are the field. You are not just experiencing reality. You are shaping it with every thought, every feeling, every moment of belief.